Why hello friends, Jen Foxbot here. Welcome back for another exciting edition of Math Mondays. Oh yeah. Okay, so thanks very much for your patience while I was on a much needed break, and happy 2019, yeah! Alright, so if you're just joining us, in this series I talk about how math is just a language, and my goal is to help you learn how to read and speak math a little bit better. Because just like learning any other language, we just have to learn how the symbols work and how they fit together. As my favorite professor once said, don't let the symbols push you around, you push the symbols around. Yeah, that's right, we have the power. Okay, so in this episode, I wanted to switch gears from waves for a little bit and talk about something a little bit simpler, percentages and fractions. All right, so what are percentages? When I say that I have 12%, or 78%, what does that mean? Well, first of all, percentages and fractions we typically are talking about in terms of a relation to something. So just saying 12% by itself doesn't really make that much sense, because my first question would be, well, 12% of what? 12% of a pie? Yes. 12% of debt? Oh no! 12% of a notebook? Which means instead of 100 pages, I only get 12 pages? Oh, that's lame. I would not buy that notebook. 12% off? And then the next question is, off of what? Ah, yes. So, percentages and fractions come up when we are talking about having different amounts of something. Let's talk about it in a little bit simpler context, one that we can all relate to. Pie! Yeah! Alright, so let's say I'm trying to go to a party and I feel like I should bring something, so I'm like, yo, everyone likes pie, that's cool, right? So I bring one pie. Heck yeah. So right now I have 100% of my pie. And you can imagine whatever your favorite pie might be, so that it is particularly scrumptious for you. But if I want to ask, any given point during the party how much of the pie is left so that I can cut appropriate slices, I need to keep track of how many people are eating that pie. I also want to know because I will eat that whole pie by myself if no one else does. So personally, I keep track so that I know how much I get to take home. Okay, so let's say initially I cut my pie into, 4 slices. Because not that many people have shown up at the party yet. I'm usually late, but don't tell the host that. Anyway, so I bring my pie and it's cut into 4 slices. So right now, I have 4 out of 4 slices, which is 100% of my pie. Tight! So I'm watching that pie and I'm like, alright, I gotta bring home all of it. What's up? But some hungry party goer comes along, I can't blame them, it's particularly scrumptious, and they take a whole piece of that pie. So now I only have 3 of my 4 slices left. And if you do the math, if you do 3 divided by 4, that is 75%. Wait, what? How does that work? That's really confusing. Okay, so let's break this down. When I am talking about a percentage, we're talking about a fraction in relation to 100. So 75% is actually 75 divided by 100. So that is the equivalent fraction. These 3 numbers, 3/4, 75%, and 75 over 100 are the same number. Yeah, let me say that again. 3/4, 75%, and 75 over 100 are the same number. It's just 3 different ways to represent the same number. And so that, a lot of times, that's the secret of math, is finding the way to represent a number that makes the most sense. Whether that is for you personally, because you're trying to understand what's going on in the world, or if it's for your audience and you're trying to talk about the impact of something or the result of something. There are many different ways to represent the same number. I could also write 0.75. That's a 4th way to write the same number. There are many other ways. I could go on and make a 300-minute long video about different ways to represent the same number, but that's boring and not super relatable. So I won't, unless you all want me to, feel free to ask. But for now, I'll just say that percentages are a way for us to talk about fractions in shorthand. Also, because the entire world uses a base 10 numbering system, which means that we have 10 digits, it's easy for us to understand, or I should say easier for us to understand percentages or fractions in terms of 100, because it's a little bit easier for our brains to wrap our head around what those symbols mean. Okay, so let's go back to the party, where I'm doing all these calculations in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 75% of my pie left before another person comes along, nom 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 nom, and eats another slice of that pie. So now I only have 2 out of my 4 slices left. Holy moly, that is only 50%. I only have 50% of my pie left. What the ish? If I was super selfish, I would go and box it up right then, but I'm not, because I love my friends. And so again, another way to write that, how would you write it in this format? I'll give you a second. Okay, so this fraction would be 50 over 100. And if you were like, heck yeah, I got that, woohoo, no problem. Nice job. So yeah, whatever method is the way that your head likes to think about it, go for it, by all means. There's no hard and fast rule. I just want to show you that fractions and percentages are really the same thing. Again, we're talking about different amounts of something. For folks that cook, you do this all the time. You're probably like, oh, no problem. Percentages, no problem. All right, so hopefully that was pretty clear. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these topics that I mentioned, or if you have a particularly enticing math problem that you are very curious about. I would love to solve it with you. All right, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!